This is one of the most important messages people need to hear right now. All satire for your entertainment purposes only. Not. Do not fall for an alien invasion. Don't fall for it, because the way you get people to, the way you control people after they've ascended consciously and they've started to wake up to the true nature of reality and what's actually happening and who controls everything, the next step is a worldwide event to make people believe they have a savior from this worldwide event. Don't fall for it. I'm not saying there won't be any alien sort of invasion scenario. I'm saying you don't have a savior outside of you. This is not about the world. This is about your soul at this point. As a sovereign soul, you have no savior outside of you. We're told that by Yeshua in the Bible. And it's common sense if you get past the brainwashing. It's common sense. You become self-actualized. You know that the self, the identity, the personality is an illusion. It's not real. We make it up. We just are what we are. And that's why Yeshua said, I am that I am. These teachings were to wake you up so that you stop projecting externally and waiting for an external savior. And so what these controlling entities did was they turned him into that savior to mock him, because he would have never asked you to worship him. That's not what a master does. He said, you say, I am. You say my name, Yeshua, which means I am. You say the Lord's name if you want to be saved. You see, this was a trick of words. They confused the languages. They say this in the Bible. The languages were confused so that the humans could not be like the gods. So you're literally told that. And yes, I just used the word literal in the right context, okay? They literally told you also, ye are gods. You are gods too. Because when you become self-actualized, that's what being a god means. It means you have absolute sovereignty over yourself. But see, we're not talking about the ego, and people always say, well, that's satanic, No. You realize that the self is an illusion. So you have sovereignty. Who has sovereignty over the self? If you have sovereignty over the self, you're not the self. Who has that sovereignty over self? Something higher. Your highest aspect of creation, the observer, the Father. That's what they're referring to when they say the Father in heaven. The highest aspect of consciousness, which is above the self, the identity. It's the observer. It's the omnipresent mind of creation. And you have absolute access to that through your own consciousness. When you silence your brain function that is reptilian, the reptilian brain function, that is that fight or flight, untamed ego part of your brain. You have to get thee behind me, Satan. That's what that means. Satan is your animal nature, your lower ego. The beast. It's inside of you. The beast is in you. Silence the beast. This is why you see many depictions of the self-actualized Christ-like being stepping on the serpent in a lot of cultures, because they're rising above their animal nature. Get the bull by the horns in your thalamus or your hippocampus. Everything's talking about your brain and your body and your consciousness and the world as well, like the higher aspect of the world, which is the cosmos, because we're affected by that. it influences our own brain functions and our mind and our DNA. And this is what it was all about in all cultures. And they took those teachings and turned them into something that would serve the any control freak. Let's just put it that way. The establishment. So your goal is to see past all this nonsense. If you want to truly be liberated, don't wait for someone to save you from anything. Because that's one of the greatest powers that they have, is to convince you you don't have any power, to make you think you need all the things that are hoarded and things that you don't even need. This is important for people to understand. Please share this. Please repost this. It's time right now to get this right. I hate to see billions of people be suckered in, by this. I hate to see billions of people being taken in by this diabolical plan.